Good afternoon from Martinsville Speedway. Welcome to the preview show. It is Elimination Day from Martinsville, Virginia. I am joined by Laner. An interesting day ahead. I think we've got a good crowd behind us. We got a couple drivers that are going to join us later, but going to be an interesting day today for some racing. What do you think is going to transpire? We're at a new track, and this was kind of last minute, but what do you anticipate is going to happen? Also, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Honestly, I don't really know what to expect. I think it'll get a little bit dicey at times, but it also has the potential to get spread out and have some green flag racing. So there's really no telling what's going to happen until we get out there. I think it'll be up to the drivers if they want to be patient. But with what's on the line, I really don't see much patience being given. So I really think things could get kind of messy out there.
And let's talk about restarts too, because I feel like restarts are going to be a big thing, including the initial start. So qualifying going to be very important, obviously, for these drivers. But um, I think the starts. I don't really know what to expect, but I know at least from when we raced at Martinstown in previous seasons um, and heading down into turn one, we had so much speed and oftentimes, the cars would have so much speed that they'd slide right up the track. Do you think that with us having to brake earlier now, that this is going to have an effect on restarts and maybe some calamity at the start?
Yeah, I think the restarts will get a little bit messy, and that's honestly what's going to decide the rest of the run. I mean, if we can get through the restart, then I think you could see us go 20, 25 laps of green, you know? It's really going to be if we can get through the restarts or not. I think everyone's going to be fighting for the bottom too, so it could really get messy, especially on the initial restart when we're too wide. You could see some wrecks there because everyone's just going to try to get low, and I don't think a lot of people are really going to check if they're clear or not.
And I talked about qualifying, but I'm just going to ask you because I know that this is probably going to be more important for you as a driver today. How important do you think qualifying is going to be in this race, and especially given the lap count? It is what how long is today's?
250.
Yeah, 250 laps. So it's gonna be a lot longer of a race today than we're used to. How important do you think qualifying and starting position is gonna be?
I think it's extremely important at a track like this because it's actually a little bit difficult to pass, and tire wear here is a really big deal. So you don't want to be having to make up 5 spots on worn tires. I mean, preferably you would just start at the front of the field and you can run your race from there. You don't want to be starting at the back here.
Well, we've got a great preview show lined up for everybody. I guess I'll kind of give like a kind of preview of what's to come around the corner, but we're just gonna maybe get into this track and this race a little bit more, and then we're gonna give you some of our bold predictions and what we think is gonna happen today, as well as a RoMuscle edition of Hit the Gas and Pump the Brakes. Looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, but definitely stay tuned for that. So, I mentioned earlier that we've never been to this racetrack before, and we're not really sure what we're going to see because obviously at Martinstown, we've reached max speed. That whole track was very fast. And here it's like the complete opposite. And we know that we've never been able to run at this track before because in a previous version of the track, there was just too many limitations and too many problems that kind of um, barred us from running at that track. But this is a new version, and it's a lot wider, a lot more room for the cars to move around, make passes, um, and a lot of pushing and a lot of shoving, obviously, and a lot of room to get stretched out. Laner, what would you say is going to be one word to describe the race today? And this, especially given how close the cutoff line is, how close would you say, or how would you characterize the race more?
In one word, I would say chaos. I mean, it's it's going to be crazy. You have three drivers within a point going for a championship. Lego's in a must win, so I mean, you're going to have four drivers driving super desperately, and we have some non-playoff guys too that are also going to want to win. I mean, I know Land wants to win. I know you want to win. I mean, there's not a single driver out there that doesn't want this win. So yeah, it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, I'd say if I had to use one word to describe today, I would definitely say strategy is going to be a big part of today's race. Obviously, we talked about the length, 250 laps. I, I I honestly don't know what today will bring. If we'll have more caution laps or if we'll have like more green flag pit stops. It's definitely going to be a question that I think everybody's just going to have to see as the race progresses and see where everybody's at um, in terms of how their car handles and all that. I do think that just given some of the testing speeds, though, um, some drivers will be fast, some drivers are going to struggle. So I think that some drivers may throw in a wrench here and there to try and see if they can maybe leap the field and get a caution. Or, I think we're going to see a lot of bold calls today, especially maybe from a team like Lego or from maybe even your team. I think just being in a situation where you have to capitalize on every opportunity. I think uh, drivers and the teams are going to do whatever they have to do in order to make it into the final four. So I think it's going to be a great race, but I also think we're going to see a race that we've never seen before, and that is what will involve strategy. We're going to see a lot of strategy. So yeah, but we're going to move right on here. I apologize. I'm dealing with a bit of a sore throat, but we're going to move into some of our bold predictions. And this can, I don't think this has to do with the race itself. It can do with the track, or it can do maybe with like a surprise entry into the final four, or just if we think that there's going to be like a certain amount of cautions, or like any bold prediction. I don't think there's any limitations to this, but I'll go first. I'll share one of mine. Um, I think we're gonna hit a new record with caution counts today. I think just given how short this track is and there's not much room to avoid crashes, it seems like I think that we're gonna see. Um, I think we're gonna see a lot of crashes and a lot of cautions today. Whether a driver um, whether a driver will stay in the lead under caution or it'll constantly be changing, that we have yet to see. But I think as far as the caution count and crashes, I think it's going to be crazy, one, but I think we're going to hit a record today. Um, Laner, what about you, though?
My bold prediction will actually be the opposite, and I will say that we go green a lot more than people would expect, and that I'm not saying the whole race is going to go green or anything crazy like that, but I would say maybe somewhere like six cautions for the whole race, maybe seven, 6 to 8, somewhere in that range.
Okay. Well, we know we're guaranteed at least two cautions because of the stage breaks, but um, okay, that's definitely an interesting take, but I like that. I didn't really I don't because the thing is I'm not good with bold predictions, so I feel like I can't really I don't want to be held accountable if my prediction's not right. So I'm gonna leave it at one prediction. I don't know if you have another one lined up later, but at least on my end,
No, I
I
didn't.
don't. Yeah, I don't have any other bold predictions. But I think just in terms of how the race is going to play out, I think we just have to expect the unexpected. But I do want to say that it was a great move from RoMuscle to move this race here. Obviously, we were going to go to Martinstown, I believe, for the cutoff, and it was a good choice putting it here. And I'm very excited to see how this race is going to play out. Um, and no bold prediction is off the table. Um, I think anything could happen today. But before we move into our next segment of the show, I just want to throw in a quick promo, really quick. The Money Stop, a RoMuscle podcast, is going to be starting tonight, hosted by these two lovely people on stage, Laner and myself. This podcast, you'll find a lot of RoMuscle talk, but also in real life racing talk. Um, and we'll be talking about obviously the race tonight, but previous races this past season, how it's been, and we have a good first episode lined up for you guys, and really looking forward to it. So stay tuned tonight after the race for the first episode of the Money Stop. And now we're going to get into some hit the gas and pump the brakes. So we have a couple categories lined up here for everybody. And what we're basically going to do is we're just going to say whether we'll hit the gas or pump the brakes on this topic. So, first thing on the list here, a non playoff driver wins the race. Laner, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I am going to pump the brakes on that one. I feel like there's too much on the line tonight for all the playoff guys. And at this point, most of the best drivers in the field are in the playoffs, other than maybe Slay. So, yeah, I'm going to have to pump the brakes on that one.
Yeah, I'm also going to pump the brakes too. I think that I think with everything on the line tonight, and given the low amount of non-playoff drivers in the race, I think that there's just generally a higher chance for a playoff driver to win. So I'm going to pump the brakes as well. Okay, moving right on to the next category. Do we have a repeat winner tonight? I am going to say hit the gas. For me, I think that just generally speaking, there's been one driver this season who has really stood out in terms of performance, wins, and just overall consistency, and that driver is Land. I think that I'm gonna give a preview of my race winner pick, but just I think that he's done a great job all season long, and if there's a repeat winner to pick, it is Land. And he's good anywhere we go, and there's no conversation, no doubt about it. Um, but yeah, I think, and not to mention too, he was fast in these testing speeds that we had before we got to the track this weekend. So I'm definitely looking for a lot out of that team, but I think there is a chance for repeat winners, and especially since CSP and well myself and Lego are the only ones who have not won races. So yes, I do think we will have a repeat winner tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the gas on that one too, mainly for the point you just said. I mean, almost everybody has a win at this point. At least the people that I expect to run competitively tonight. So I don't really see somebody without a win um, getting one tonight, especially at this track.
All right. Third question here. Will someone below the cutoff line win? And obviously that is either Laner or Lego. Obviously in two very different situations, but Laner, I'll give that to you first, what would you say?
It pains me to say this, but I'm going to pump the brakes on that one. Although I do have confidence I can win this race, I'm not going to go out and predict that to happen. So if I'm looking at realistically speaking, I think it's more likely that we have somebody above the cut line win.
Okay. I'm also gonna say pump the brakes. I, I don't know. I just, like I said, it's two very different situations. And Laner, I know that you, along with Aiden and Craigus, are in very, very, very tight situations in terms of points. So literally anybody could be below that cutoff line the next lap, or after 5 laps, or after 10 laps. It could be anybody. And in terms of Lego, he's in a must win, and I am not confident in that team where I feel like they can perform under pressure. I'm looking for a lot of performance out of that team tonight, but I think the question still remains if they can perform well under pressure. Um, but yeah, that's all I had for that one. And then the last one here is, will a driver lead more than 100 laps tonight? And obviously, like we said, the race is 250 laps. So I don't know. Let's hear it. Will they lead more than 100 laps? I say pump the brakes. I don't think, obviously, well, here's what I'll say first. I think that we're going to get a lot of cautions tonight, and a lot of the time in the race will be spent just riding around under caution. But I do think that the lead is going to change a lot. Um, just given the unknowns and the uncertainty with this track, and we have not seen a full field yet, I think the lead is going to change constantly. And I think people will be back and forth um, up at the front, and there may be a battle here or two for the lead, but yeah, I would say pump the brakes on that one. I don't think we're going to have a driver that leads more than 100 laps. Laner, what say you, though?
I will be doing the opposite, and I will be hitting the gas. I just feel like there's not that many competitive drivers necessarily. I mean, like, there's not so many drivers that can just go up there and lead laps. So I think we might have 2 or 3 people that are switching the lead all day, but with 250 laps, I mean, leading 100 laps, it's not really asking a lot out of somebody. So if not 100, I think we'll have somebody get really close to it.
All right. Well, there's your hit the gas, pump the brakes, RoMuscle edition, and from us. Um, that was fun. We've never done that before, so that was fun. I enjoyed that. Um, Okie dokie. Let's do some driver interviews. Laner, who would you like to call up first?
I don't know if is Land. Are you available for an interview right now? All right, let me.
Howdy.
Laner, you can start.
Okay. Um.
Yeah, I'll kind of follow up after.
All right. Well, welcome to the stage, sir. How are you feeling about your team's performance tonight? How do you think the car's doing? Just kind of go over how you're feeling about tonight with me.
Like in practice, I've had great short run speed, but it's kind of the long runs I'm worried about.
I don't know if he was done answering the question, but um, okay. Are you looking at qualifying as like your main target? Are you looking to nab another pole, or Are you looking to more so perform better in the race? Are you looking to just get stage points? What's your main team's focus for the night?
Honestly, whatever I can do to just keep the momentum going is my main focus now. I don't really care about qualifying as much because I feel like we have a good car that can actually pass on the restarts. I think the restart's gonna be my main opportunity for passing tonight. But yeah, it's mainly just trying to keep the momentum going.
Okay. Well, you did lock in 2 weeks ago now. Um, how is the team preparing for the championship race in a few weeks? And are you just trying to get through tonight and then make it to championship race and it's um, just full focus for that? Or what are you guys thinking in terms of that?
Yeah, mainly I'm just focusing 1 week at a time. I still want to go out and perform every week and just not focused on one race that's like 2 weeks away. So it's mainly focusing one race at a time.
Okay. Well, it is a long race tonight too. Um, Laner, did you have anything else for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as a team owner, um, how do you manage having you're locked in obviously, but how do you manage having two cars that are on the bubble within a point? Like how do you manage that
Yeah,
from
that
a team owner perspective?
that's pretty difficult. My main approach is I'm not going to interfere with that at all, which involves not really helping anyone out. If I'm helping someone out, I'm gonna have to go help the other driver out. I've never been in this situation before, so I don't really know the correct answer to that. But I'm just not gonna help one person out, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult situation to be in. Do you have
And
anything else, CSP?
I just had one more. So I was starting to ask the question and then I had to cut myself off, but I know it's going to be a long race tonight. It's one of the longest, I guess, races that we'll probably feel as drivers. So what are you looking for out of this track tonight? What are you looking for the race to offer? What are you looking for the track to offer? And just this playoff situation that we find ourselves in because this has never happened before where we've had the last two spots be up for grabs like this. Um, so what would you say you're looking for tonight out of this race?
I'm really looking forward to watching it go out. I'm really happy I'm not, on the cut line. I'm happy to be locked in, so I can really just enjoy the chaos that's gonna happen. And it's like watching the Talladega race and you're already locked in.
All right. Well, good luck tonight, Land. It was good to have you up on the stage with us and already locked into the final four. So we will see you tonight, but also in a few weeks at the championship race.
All right, see you guys later.
Thanks for joining us. Okie dokie. I think we're inviting Kragus up, right?
Yeah, I was trying to. I think he's AFK. Lego said he can do an interview, but he will be on.
Okay. Um, well, we can invite Lego up, and if Kragus
Yeah, we
comes
can
back in
always.
that time, then we can interview him too. If not, we'll move on. It's okay. Alrighty, I guess I'll start. Welcome to the stage, Lego. So tonight, obviously, in a position that I'm sure your team does not want to be in, but talk to me about just how your approach is going to be for tonight. You guys are in a must-win, so um, Obviously a very different situation compared to the other guys, but walk me through how you guys are feeling and what your mindset is going to be knowing that you have to win. And just for anybody that didn't hear the disclaimer, he will be typing through chat, so give him 1 second.
Okay, so Lego, just to reread what Lego said. He said, "We are approaching today with full eyes on the prize, knowing that we have to win or we are out, with plan to make some moves that people aren't used to seeing out of us if it means getting us into a better position at the end of the day." So,
I like that mindset.
yeah, I do too. Does your team have any strategy up your sleeve, or are you kind of just going into this race like with no plan? I mean, like, do you have anything up your sleeve that you are looking forward to bringing out for this race? Maybe a bold strategy call to get some track position or anything like that? Okay, so he said, any strategy we have, we are keeping secret, but our main mindset is to run with our eyes open, seeing who and who isn't pitting. We expect a lot of pit stops today and know that it can make or break part of your race getting a good pit stop. Pit crew has prepared for today and we expect good results out of them.
I have a question here for you. So my main question is, I know that just throughout the season, you guys have struggled a lot with um, lag and just overall speed. And how do you guys plan to capitalize on that today? Where obviously the point situation is dire, but you guys still have a shot at winning this race. I would say just as about as anybody else in the field today. How are you going to capitalize on the problems you've had all season and come out on top and try and get a spot in the final four? So he said that us missing the race in Milwaukee took a toll on the team, but we have shown speed when we have needed to, and what others have mentioned is what we have struggled to close out races. And I know that it's been a struggle of ours this season, but if we are able to close one out today, we are hoping that we will have a grandfather clock and a championship 4 spot. Our team deserves a good run today. Thank you for joining us up on the stage, Lego. It was good to see you, and good luck later today. All right, Laner, you want to welcome up our next guest?
Okay. Well, I guess Lego took the seat with him. Just gonna have to stand up a little bit. All right, welcome to the stage, Craigus. Nice to see you here. I guess I'll ask you the same question I asked Land. Just give me your general thoughts on how you're feeling about your race team, your race car, and just general thoughts on the race tonight.
He said that he's communicating by chat, but he said that I felt really fast in practice, and he thinks he has a shot to win. Just got to choose their battles and the right time to make moves during the race. Craigus, I do have a question for you. So, obviously, this season for you has been your first running the league and driving. Talk to me about how that's been for you mentally, but also just week to week with league operations. Talk to me about how that's been for you and how it is feeling for you closing out your first season as the league operator. He said, I'm not sure if he's done answering the question, but he said that he understands the pain that Laner and myself went through. Driving and officiating, yes, it was very, very stressful, but somehow we managed. And he knows that we have some things to work on heading into next season. I kind of have a follow up to that. So you talk about next season. Um, is there anything that you're looking to implement or something that you can hint at that will be coming next season, whether it's like any rule changes or any additions to the league that you think will help in your eyes? All right. Well, we look forward to that. Said he's looking to put out a rule book and prioritizing crown jewel races. Thank you. Laner, did you have a question for him?
I do not. That was all I had.
Okay. Says we're looking into having 3 crown jewel races, 1 super speedway, 1 intermediate, and 1 short track. That should be fun. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see. But Craigus will announce that, I'm sure, when the details have been worked out. But that's all I had for you, Craigus. Good luck tonight, and thanks for coming up on the stage with us. Okay. All right. Well, that concludes driver interviews, at least that portion of the preview show. So we're going to do a little race analysis. I just want to talk about the race before we move into our predictions. So obviously, like we said, the race is going to be 250 laps tonight. Stages are going to be 75, 75, and 100. Practice is going to begin at 5 o'clock, so just about 45 minutes from now. Qualifying to follow at 5:15, and the green flag hopefully to follow at 5:30. Obviously, everything permitting. And we are going to be on the new game for the second week in a row. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting race. I'm looking forward to everything that this race has to offer tonight, not only from a driver perspective, but just as somebody of a fan of the league and of a fan all around from racing. Laner, what would you say your first prediction is going to be for tonight's race?
Of the overall racing?
It could be of the race, how you think the race is going to play out, if there's anything that you think is going to be surprising to you.
Well, I don't know. I think that the race, I really don't know what to expect because I could see this race going a lot of different ways. But I really don't know. We could get a surprise winner. We could get a regular winner. We could have 20 cautions. We could have a green flag race. So, I mean, it's so hard to predict. But one thing I am confident in saying is that I think we will have some really amazing racing tonight. I think there will be battles throughout the field, and I know that the viewers will be getting a treat whenever they tune in tonight for the race.
I couldn't agree more. I definitely think that we're just going to be in for a long race as a driver, but as somebody who will hopefully be watching the race on the stream tonight, I hope that everybody enjoys the race and likes what they see. And yeah, I will say we're going to do predictions to win in our final 4 picks in a second. I have been putting up everybody's statistics on the screen. So while they've been up here, everybody's statistics for the season thus far has been up. I have myself and Laner's up right now, but I would say that just overall, everybody's done a great job this season and very, very consistent. I while I was typing some of this stuff up earlier, I couldn't believe like how many top 10s and how many top 5s some people had. And even somebody like me who like is not as active as other drivers, but still tries to be active. I'm still surprised I ended up with 8 top 10s and 7 top 5s this far. I was not expecting to see that. I usually don't pay attention to that column, but it's definitely still cool to see. And for somebody like you, Laner, as well, you're tied for top tens in the series with Kragus and Land, and you have the most in the series right now for top fives. So that's pretty remarkable. And definitely should be proud of yourself for that. You've done a great job driving all season. So
Thank you.
all right, so we'll move into race predictions. So our prediction to win, and then we'll give our final four picks, and then wrap up with some final thoughts. Laner, did you want to start with your prediction to win?
Yeah. What do you think we should do? Like a prediction and then maybe like a dark horse pick as well?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, my prediction would probably be Land to win the race. I mean, he's been really fast in practice. He's been really strong all year. If I'm not mistaken, he's won every short track this season. He won Milwaukee. He won Iowa. I can't think the other one kind of slipped my mind, but I know he has won almost every short track this season. So if we want to just go off of consistency, similar tracks, I mean, that's the way to go. A dark horse pick, I would probably go with Aiden if I was going to pick a dark horse. I would say Slay, but he's not in the playoffs, so if I'm just going with playoff drivers, I would say Aiden would be my dark horse pick.
Good picks. My race winner prediction too is also Land. I mentioned it earlier, so obviously no surprise, but I just really like where this team's at right now. They really put themselves in position to win a championship. And like you said, he's won at all the short tracks basically this season. And I just really like what I'm seeing in terms of speed and confidence out of the team right now. I think they're in a really good spot to win tonight. That's all I have because you kind of covered everything in terms of Land. But I would say for dark horse pick, I'm gonna go with Kragus. He is one of the three drivers in that +1 or -1 position right now, like at the cut line. This team, I'm so confused, but like I know at least on short tracks that Kragus's team at least performs well or relatively well. I'm just confused because it seems like every week this team is always in a different situation or a different bubble or a different hole that they can't get themselves out of. And I'm really interested to see where their team is at when they take the green flag tonight. I think hopefully we see a dark horse Kragus and he can rise above and make sure that he can lock himself in. I think it'll definitely be interesting to see. But just somebody I'm going to be watching, and but I really would like to say that I think I like what I see out of that team, and I think that they've done a great job all season. So that's my dark horse pick. And then we'll move into final four picks. So I'll go first. So my final four is as you see it on your screen. It's going to be Land, myself, Kragus, and Aiden. I think the whole race tonight is going to be very, very entertaining to watch. And I think that the points battle is going to constantly move around. But I just think that the four drivers there are the four you will see when they take the checkered flag at the end of the night tonight. Laner, what about you?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Final four.
Final four. My final, okay, well, obviously, you and Land are locked in. I'm going to put myself in there behind you two. and I will put Kragus in there. I just don't have the confidence in Aiden's team. I don't think he's ran a single practice lap here. The first time his car will hit the track is in about 30 minutes whenever practice starts. So at a technical track like this, I don't know that that's going to be beneficial. So I would give the nod to myself and Kragus to win that points battle. And obviously with Lego, I just don't have the confidence that in a must-win situation that they can get it done tonight. I just haven't seen anything from them all season to tell me that they're going to be able to go out here and win this race to lock themselves in.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That is the preview show. Had a lot of fun. I think this went really well. Maybe we could even do one for when we head out to the championship race in a few weeks at Darlington. I am looking forward to seeing how it's going to go and how everything tonight will turn out. Laner, do you have any final thoughts that you want to share?
I do not.
All right. Neither do I. So, but thank you for joining us. A lot of fun tonight. And stick around. Practice will be starting very shortly, about a half an hour. And I think only 15 minutes. So these drivers are going to have to be here on time. And hopefully they will. But thank you for joining us. Somebody will be in victory lane tonight with that grandfather clock. We'll see you in Darlington in a few weeks. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later for practice and qualifying.